Growing up is honestly a messy business. It's just a collection of firsts, first days, first friends, first heartbreaks. My own story, if you flip through its pages, is filled with the names of boys I once thought I would love forever. Some people might look at a list of exes and see a trail of failures, a series of wrong turns, but I see something different. I see chapters in a much larger book, each one teaching me something new about the world and, more importantly, about myself. These relationships, as fleeting as they were a crucial part of my own coming-of-age story. They were the training wheels I needed before I could learn to ride on my own, steady and sure. My first real taste of a relationship was in high school. His name was Mark, and he had a crooked smile that made my stomach do flips. We held hands in the hallways between classes, a simple act that felt like the most important thing in the world. We shared milkshakes and whispered secrets over the phone late at night. In my teenage mind, this was it. This was the love story the movies promised. The feeling was all-consuming, a bright, warm light that made everything else seem a little less scary. It was the kind of innocent, hopeful love that only exists before you truly understand what it means to have your heart broken. Of course, like most high school romances, ours had an expiration date. The end came quietly, not with a big fight, but with a slow, sad fade. We were growing into different people, our paths pulling us in opposite directions. The breakup felt like a physical ache, a hollowness in my chest that I didn't know how to fill. I spent weeks replaying every moment, wondering what I did wrong. Was I not pretty enough? Not funny enough? The questions echoed in the empty space he left behind. It was my first lesson in heartbreak, and it taught me that sometimes, love just isn't enough to hold two people together, no matter how much you wish it were. Looking back, I realized that every relationship, no matter how short, is a stepping stone. They are the experiences that shape our understanding of connection, of compromise, and of ourselves. Having a few exes doesn't mean you're unlovable or bad at relationships. It simply means you were brave enough to try. You were brave enough to open your heart, knowing it might get bruised along the way. Each person who comes into our lives leaves a mark, a little note in the margins of our story. And those notes, taken together, help us figure out what we truly want and what we absolutely deserve in the end. College was a whole new world, and with it came new relationships. There was Leo, the artist who saw the world in colors I couldn't even name. Our relationship was a whirlwind of late-night talks about art and philosophy, of spontaneous road trips and dreams that felt big enough to touch the sky. With him, I felt seen in a way I never had before. He encouraged my creativity and pushed me to be bolder, but our passion burned so brightly that it was destined to burn out. Our arguments were as intense as our good times, filled with dramatic words and slammed doors. It was a beautiful, chaotic mess. The end with Leo was explosive. It was everything the breakup with Mark wasn't. There were tears and yelling, a final, painful conversation that left no room for doubt. The heartbreak was sharp and immediate, like a sudden storm. For a while, I couldn't listen to certain songs or walk past the cafes we used to frequent. The pain felt permanent, a scar that would never fade. I learned that some relationships are like fireworks. They light up your whole world for a moment, dazzling and brilliant, but they can't last. They are meant to be a spectacular, temporary show, not a steady, guiding light. Then came Ben in my final year of college. He was the opposite of Leo. He was calm, steady, and kind. Our relationship was comfortable, like putting on a favorite sweater. It felt safe. With Ben, there were no high-stakes dramas or emotional roller coasters. We fit into each other's lives easily, and for a long time I thought that was what love was supposed to feel like. I thought it was about finding someone who made sense, someone who was good on paper. But slowly, I realized that comfort wasn't the same as happiness. The relationship lacked the spark, the deep connection I craved. Breaking up with Ben was one of the hardest things I ever had to do because there was nothing really wrong. He was a good person, and he loved me. But I knew, deep down, that we weren't right for each other in the long run. I was settling for good enough, and that wasn't fair to either of us. Letting him go taught me a vital lesson. You can't force a connection that isn't there. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is walk away from something good, because you know it's not great. It taught me to trust my gut, even when it leads to a difficult and lonely path. After the breakup with Ben, I decided to take a break, a real one. No dating apps, no looking for the next person to fill the empty space. For the first time in years, I was truly alone. The silence was deafening at first. My weekends felt long and empty, and my phone was quieter than it had been in a long time. I was so used to defining myself through the lens of a relationship, as Mark's girlfriend, or Leo's muse, or Ben's partner. Without that label, I had to ask myself a scary question. Who was I, all on my own? It was a period of uncomfortable self-reflection. Slowly, I started to fill the silence with my own noise. I rediscovered hobbies I had let slide. I spent hours in bookstores, getting lost in stories. I took long walks with my music, just me and the rhythm of my own footsteps. I started a journal, pouring out all the thoughts and feelings I had kept bottled up. It was in those quiet moments that I began to enjoy my own company. I learned that I could make myself laugh, that I could solve my own problems, and that I could be perfectly happy eating dinner alone. It was a slow, gentle process of falling in love with myself. This time alone was crucial. It helped me heal the old wounds that I had been carrying from one relationship to the next. I realized I had been searching for validation from others, hoping a boyfriend's love would fix the parts of me I didn't like. But no one else can do that work for you. True confidence and self-worth have to come from within. I learned to be my own biggest supporter, my own source of comfort. The feeling of not needing someone else to feel whole was incredibly liberating. It was like building a house from the inside out, making sure the foundation was strong before worrying about the decorations. When I finally felt ready to date again, something had shifted. I was no longer looking for someone to complete me. I was looking for someone to complement me. I was whole on my own, and I wanted someone who was whole on their own too. Taking that time for myself was the greatest gift I could have ever given my future relationships. It taught me the importance of boundaries, of knowing my own worth, and of never, ever settling for a love that asks me to be anything less than my true self. It was a lesson in self-preservation and self-respect. The journey through past relationships is not a map of where you went wrong, but a guide to where you need to go. Each heartbreak, each ending, carves out a little more of who you are. It teaches you about your own strength, your resilience, and the endless capacity of your own heart. It's okay to have a history. It's okay to have made mistakes, to have loved the wrong people, or to have stayed too long. Those experiences are not failures, they are lessons. They are the stories that give you depth, empathy, and a clearer vision of the love you truly deserve for yourself. The most important relationship you will ever have is the one with yourself. That's the ultimate truth I learned. Loving yourself first isn't selfish, it's essential. It means treating yourself with the same kindness and compassion you would offer a friend. It means forgiving yourself for past mistakes and believing you are worthy of happiness, with or without a partner. When you build a strong foundation of self-love, you become less likely to accept a love that is conditional, draining, or unkind. You learn to recognize the red flags because you value your own peace more than you fear being alone. Today my heart feels different. It's not closed off or guarded, but it's wiser. It understands that love is not about finding a perfect person, but about building a healthy, supportive connection with an imperfect person who is willing to grow with you. It knows that a real partnership enhances your life. It doesn't become the center of it. I no longer rush into things, swept away by initial chemistry. I take my time, observing, listening, and trusting my intuition. I know what I bring to the table, and I am not afraid to eat alone if the company isn't right. The future is an unwritten chapter, and for the first time, I'm not in a hurry to fill the pages. I have hope, not for a fairy tale romance, but for a real, honest love, one that feels like coming home. And if it takes time, that's okay. I have a pretty great relationship to keep me busy in the meantime, the one with myself. For anyone navigating the messy world of heartbreak, remember to be gentle with yourself. Your story is still being written, and the best parts are yet to come. Trust the journey, learn the lessons, and never forget to love the main character you.